Hi there, you're watching Nightline with me, Sabrina Zainal. The top stories. Sapura Energy investment, 1 billion ringgit injection to pay what's owed to vendors, not bail out, says PM. And 9th Prime Minister's graft probe, Ismail Sabri Yaakob spends 6 hours with MACC. Good morning. The Prime Minister on Thursday stressed that the move to inject 1.1 billion ringgit into Sapura Energy is to pay what is owed to mostly Bumiputra vendors rather than save the troubled oil and gas firm's top executives. Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim said the infusion of funds by Malaysia Development Holdings Sendirian Berhad MDH into publicly listed Sapura Energy has led to the perception of a government bailout of the firm, which he previously rejected while in the opposition. The Prime Minister said channeling money into the company was not an easy decision, but was necessary to prevent a financial ripple effect in the oil and gas supply chain. Anwar, who is also Finance Minister, noted that the infusion was through MDH's subscription of Sapura's redeemable convertible loan stocks.
80% itu vendor-vendor Bumiputra yang telah memberi sumbangan. Bagaimana harus mereka dihukum? Tengok dalam dunia politik. Kalau saya tak tolong, Anwar khianat, dia bukan lagi membantu memperjuangkan nasib Bumiputra, dia hanya menjadi juru cakap DAP. Sini salah di sini. Jadi itu. Kalau kita buat, dia kata ini kita bantu saya.
Anwar was speaking at the Finance Ministry's monthly assembly in Putrajaya. The government imposed conditions on the company prior to the investment, including that the chairman and senior management should step down.
Apakah dana ini dana hangus? Tidak. Apa yang dilakukan ialah suntikan ini akan dijadikan modal pinjaman supaya pengurusan baru mudah-mudahan akan mengurus dengan lebih baik, mendapat keuntungan dan membayar semula dana suntikan 1.1 bilion.
In a Bursa Malaysia filing on Tuesday, Sapura Energy said the Finance Ministry, via MDH, would be subscribing to its redeemable convertible loan stocks worth 1.1 billion ringgit. The latest round of fund injection and court-approved debt restructuring plan will be a part of Sapura Energy's regularization plan. Meanwhile, Anwar stressed that his stance on the issue of bailing out companies is unchanged and remains consistent. The government's decision to invest in Sapura Energy is therefore different from the previous government's proposal.
Sudah ingat debat saya dengan Datuk Seri Najib. Apa yang saya sebut? Saya kata jangan bail out. Pengurusannya itu masih di sana. Pendapatan mereka masih tinggi berjuta-juta. Mana dia forensik auditnya? Kita ambil EY, Ernst & Young, masuk. Jadi semua peraturan yang agak transparent, yang telus dilaksanakan sebelum keputusan ini dibuat.
He added Sapura Energy is also important for the nation's oil and gas ecosystem. This is to ensure that the strategic sector continues to be led by Bumiputra and local companies. Now, former Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob spent about 5 hours on Thursday having his statement recorded by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC, at its headquarters in Putrajaya. The Burra Member of Parliament is scheduled to return on Friday to continue providing his statement. This is to assist in the ongoing investigation into a corruption and money laundering case linked to him. Earlier, Ismail Sabri arrived at the MACC headquarters at 9:46 a.m. in a black sedan. At 3:14 p.m., his vehicle was seen leaving the MACC building and later stopping briefly outside the exit where members of the media had gathered. However, he declined to comment when asked about his session at the MACC headquarters, despite repeated requests from reporters. Later in the day, in a brief statement, Ismail Sabri said he would continue to cooperate with the graftbuster until the investigation is completed. MACC Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki previously said Ismail Sabri was being called in as a suspect in an investigation into 4 of his former senior officers. About 170 million ringgit in cash and 16 kilograms of gold bars worth nearly 6.7 million ringgit were seized in raids conducted at the residences of the 4 officers and 3 other premises believed to be safe houses. The MACC has confirmed that its investigation is focused on the expenditure and procurement of funds under the Keluarga Malaysia program during Ismail Sabri's administration. In the meantime, when contacted, Azam confirmed that Ismail Sabri is scheduled to return on Friday morning to continue giving his statement. The MACC Chief Commissioner called on all parties to allow his team the necessary space to conduct a thorough, transparent and fair investigation.
Akan dipanggil semula besok untuk datang ke SPRM untuk disambung rakaman percakapannya, dijangka pada jam 9 pagi besok dia akan datang.
Azam added that they must first complete the statement-taking process with the former Prime Minister before determining the next course of action. The case is being investigated under the MACC Act and the Anti-Money Laundering, Anti-Terrorism Financing and Proceeds of Unlawful Activities Act. Malaysia is poised to become a global semiconductor powerhouse through its strategic partnership with the United Kingdom's chip design firm ARM Holdings. In line with this goal, Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim emphasized the importance of mastering emerging fields such as science, mathematics, English and engineering, or STEM, while also upholding language, culture and religion as core values. Anwar stated that the government, through the relevant ministries, will begin prioritizing related subjects and courses as part of its preparations to strengthen and expand the country's semiconductor industry.
Sebab apa saya tekankan? Kalau tidak kita ada pelaburan di Selangor begitu hebat. Ya. Dan daripada syarikat-syarikat besar Google, Microsoft semua di sini. Dan ARM, iaitu pembikin chip yang terbesar di dunia. Tiap telefon kita ni ada ARM. Ada chip daripada ARM. Setiap telefon tanpa kecuali. Semua yang ada lewat ni guna ARM. Baik, dia dah setuju untuk gunakan Malaysia, khususnya di Selangor, sebagai medan dia melahirkan chip baru.
Anwar said this during the Prime Minister's iftar gathering with local community leaders in Selangor held in Shah Alam on Thursday. Earlier, the Prime Minister visited the Ramadan Bazaar in Section 2, spending about 20 minutes engaging with traders and visitors. In other news, a syndicate dismantled 2 days ago and linked to the issuance of fake birth documents is believed to be involved in trafficking undocumented children into Malaysia. The syndicate's modus operandi involved paying individuals to pose as birth informants and using fake documents to deceive the National Registration Department (NRD) into issuing genuine birth certificates. Home Minister Datuk Sri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail said the syndicate is suspected of collaborating with private healthcare facilities to forge various documents that are used to apply for birth certificates from the NRD. Once obtained, these genuine birth certificates are allegedly sold on the black market to parents or guardians of children lacking official identification or Malaysian citizenship.
Sindiket ini juga dipercayai mempunyai rangkaian dalam dan luar negara, serta berkemungkinan besar terlibat dalam penyeludupan kanak-kanak dari luar negara yang tidak mempunyai dokumen diri dan dijual kepada ibu bapa berkenaan.
After nearly a year of intelligence gathering, the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission (MACC) and the NRD arrested 10 locals in simultaneous raids across Putrajaya, Selangor, Pulau Pinang and Perak as part of a special operation codenamed Op Tumpang.
Among them, 4 were believed to be the masterminds of the syndicate, including a 55-year-old female legal practitioner suspected of acting as an intermediary between agents and applicants. The remaining 6 were identified as birth informants. Saifuddin said the syndicate is believed to have successfully obtained 80 legitimate birth certificates using forged birth documents issued by 6 private clinics and hospitals across the 4 states. On Wednesday, MACC Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azambaki stated that the anti-graft body is currently analyzing the overall procedures, including those related to birth registration within the NRD.
A total of 5,272 youths aged 34 and under have been declared bankrupt, representing 14.94% of cases recorded between 2020 and 2025. Of this number, approximately 98%, or 5,189 individuals, are aged between 25 and 34, while the remaining 83 are below 25.
Youth and Sports Minister Hannah Yeoh said the trend of youth bankruptcies is rising, with 877 cases recorded in 2024, an increase of 150 compared to 727 in the previous year.
Berdasarkan rekod Jabatan Insolvensi Malaysia, punca utama kes kebankrapan pada tahun 2024 adalah pinjaman peribadi yang menyumbang sebanyak 2,776 kes ataupun 46.4% daripada keseluruhan 5,977 kes bankrupt, hampir 50%.
Other contributing factors included business loans, housing loans, hire purchase or vehicle loans, and corporate guarantors. To address this issue, the Youth and Sports Ministry is organizing a youth financial literacy course from April to October this year. The program aims to benefit 30,600 participants by 2030. Meanwhile, the Credit Counseling and Debt Management Agency, AKPK, is also implementing various initiatives to help targeted groups manage their finances more effectively.
The parents of murdered autistic boy Zainal Abdul Matin on Thursday claimed trial at the Petaling Jaya Sessions Court to a joint amended charge of child neglect of their 6-year-old son in 2023. Zaim Ikwan Zahari and Ismanira Abdul Manaf, both aged 30, entered their plea before Judge Shahliza Warno as the first and second accused.
Earlier in the proceedings, the court allowed the prosecution to amend the charge against the couple, specifying the exact location where the offense allegedly took place. The amendments were on the location details in the charge sheet against the couple as persons having the care of Zain Ryan, who had allegedly neglected him in a manner likely to cause him physical injury. They were accused of committing the offense from noon on December 5th, 2023, until about 9:55 p.m. on December 6th, 2023, around the area of Block R, Apartment Damansara Damai, up to a nearby stream. To date, 23 prosecution witnesses have testified in the trial, which began on February 4th.
A 41-year-old man was arrested for molesting several women at the Lurah Semantan Ramadan Bazaar in Temerloh, Pahang on Wednesday. District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Mazlan Hassan said the incident was captured in a 21-second TikTok video, which later went viral on social media. So far, police have received reports from 3 women aged between 23 and 27. The victims claimed the suspect molested them while they were walking to buy food to break their fast at the bazaar on March 6th and 10th. It was alleged that the suspect deliberately and aggressively bumped into the women, taking the opportunity to touch several parts of their bodies. The suspect, who had a criminal record including for drug-related offenses, was then apprehended by members of the public before being handed over to the police at 5:30 p.m. American multinational corporation and technology company Intel has named former board member and chip industry veteran Malaysian-born Lip Bu Tan as its chief executive officer. Tan's appointment comes as Trump pushes for more manufacturing in the United States, threatening tariffs on imports that have roiled global markets for weeks. The appointment is effective March 18th. Tan was approached by Intel's board in December to gauge his interest in taking up the job. Mar-born Tan holds degrees in physics, nuclear engineering, and business administration. In 2022, the industry veteran was named the 2022 recipient of the Semiconductor Industry Association's highest honor, the Robert N. Noyce Award. Intel is undergoing a historic transition as it attempts to emerge from one of its bleakest periods.
Boardrooms are still male-dominated. What's blocking women from the top jobs? If diversity boosts business, why are so few women calling the shot? With talent and qualifications on their side, why do women still struggle to break the glass ceiling? Women Entrepreneur Network Association President Shireen Rose Muhammad Shari joins Azaria Tagaya only on Money Matters this Saturday evening on TV3 and stream on Tonton.
The European Union and Canada have now announced counter tariffs in response to U.S. imposition of a 25% tariff on all imported steel and aluminium. Canada, the largest supplier of steel and aluminium to the U.S., on Wednesday said it will place 25% reciprocal tariffs on steel products and also raise taxes on a host of items. Across the Atlantic, the European Union will raise tariffs on American beef, poultry, bourbon, motorcycles, peanut butter, and jeans. Combined, the new tariffs will cost companies billions of dollars and further escalate the uncertainty in two of the world's major trade partnerships. Companies will either take the losses and earn less profits, or more likely pass costs along to consumers in the form of higher prices.
Meanwhile, China's Ministry of Commerce on Thursday reiterated Beijing's opposition to the United States' tariffs on steel and aluminium. Its Ministry of Commerce spokesperson said the country firmly opposes the measure and urged the U.S. to cancel the steel and aluminium measures as soon as possible.
中方一贯认为，美232措施是以国家安全为名实施的单边主义和保护主义行为。 中方与其他很多国家一道，对此措施表示坚决反对，敦促美方尽快取消钢铝。
He Yongqian also criticized the tariffs' impact, arguing that they do not enhance U.S. national security or support domestic industries. Soon-Hwat Siobhan continue winning run. Actions from the All England Open after this breather.
Tanyalah Ustaz minggu ini. Isnin 10 Mac, Ibrah Perang. Selasa 11 Mac, Ramadan aktif atau pasif. Rabu 12 Mac, riak dalam beribadah. Khamis 13 Mac, had dan limitasi berpuasa. Jumaat 14 Mac, bakti terakhir buat ibu ayah. Tanyalah Ustaz biar tahu, jangan keliru di TV3 dan TV9. Stream juga melalui Tonton.
Bimbing hati, sucikan jiwa, hayati telefilm penuh pengajaran sepanjang bulan penuh keampunan ini.
Saya cuma minta kaya raya dan bisa menikahi Seruni. Cuma itu aja permintaan saya, Mak.
Aku bakalan bawa Lintang pergi dari rumah. Suami aku lasih, Pak. Dia kerasukan.
Indahkan memori Ramadan di slot Naluri setiap Jumaat 3 petang di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Kepada rindu yang tersesat, semoga lekas menemukan jalan pulang.
Kenapa dia tak angkat call aku ni?
Tak, kau ni sensitif.
Nanti saya potong lu punya gaji tau. Betul balik kereta ni.
Kau jaga bini kau jaga keluarga kau. Tak payah campur urusan aku.
I haramkan you jejak rumah tu. Faham?
Keluarga Itu, Jumaat hingga Ahad 9 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Isteri yang tabah atau wanita yang terseksa.
Dia cuma nak cari ketenangan.
Balik.
Orchid hanya mahu bebas, tapi bagi mereka, itu adalah satu dosa.
Sekali lagi kau nak ingatkan aku pasal solat ke, tazkirah aku ke, engkau siap?
Saya nak cerai.
Aku takkan tinggalkan kau sampai bila-bila. Dengar tak?
Sekam di Dada, Isnin hingga Jumaat, 10 malam. Di Samarinda, TV3.
We're back with sports. Badminton, the 2025 All England Open. Top seeds Goh Soon Huat and Siobhan Lai became the first Malaysians to check into the quarterfinals in Birmingham after edging out their Scottish opponents on Thursday.
The world number 3 mixed doubles pair breezed past 33rd ranked Alexander Dunn, Julie McPherson of Scotland with a 21-9, 21-10 victory in just 25 minutes at the Super 1000 event. It was the first career meeting between the two pairs, but Soon Huat Siobhan were in complete control from start to finish. Soon Huat Siobhan will face 5th seeds Jiang Zhenbang, Huang Dongping of China, who defeated Taiwan's Lu Mingche Peng En-zu 21-13, 21-17 for a spot in the semifinals on Friday.
On to football. Speedy winger Muhammad Faisal Abdul Halim has been recalled to the Harimau Malaya squad for the third round of the 2027 AFC Asian Cup qualifiers against Nepal on March 25th.
The Selangor FC winger is among 27 players called up by national team head coach Peter Klamovski for the team's centralized training camp starting on Monday. His return to the Harimau Malaya is remarkable as he suffered an acid attack in May last year, which left him with severe injuries requiring skin grafts to his face and left arm. Players who were left out of the 2024 ASEAN Football Federation AFF Cup campaign have been recalled, including Dion Cools, Natso Insa, Muhammad Afiq Fazai, Romel Morales, Arif Aiman Muhammad Hanapi, Muhammad Akhyar Abdul Rashid and Muhammad Safawi Rashid. Key members of the AFF Cup 2024 squad, such as Paulo Josu, Endrick Dos Santos, Muhammad Safwan Mazlan, Muhammad Hakimi Azim Rosli, and Stuart Wilkin, have also retained their spots. Among the new call-ups is Selangor defender Ahmad Zikri Muhammad Khalili. Harimau Malaya will undergo an 8-day training camp in Johor Bahru before the opening match against Nepal.
Turning to tennis now, the 2025 Indian Wells Open. Carlos Alcaraz moved closer to a rare three-peat of the competition as he breezed past Grigor Dimitrov in straight sets to reach the quarterfinals on Wednesday.
The world number 2 Spaniard barely broke a sweat, dropping only 2 games before clinching a dominant 6-1, 6-1 victory over the Bulgarian. Alcaraz, who is bidding to become the third man to win the event 3 times in a row, will take on Francisco Cerundolo of Argentina in the last 8. In another match, Great Britain's Jack Draper stunned Taylor Fritz and the home crowd as he reached the quarterfinals with a hard-fought 7-5, 6-4 win over the American. He is set to face American opposition again in the last 8 in the shape of Ben Shelton, the number 11 seed. In the women's category, world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka ended lucky loser Sonia Kartal's run in the competition, crushing her 6-1, 6-2 to reach the quarterfinals. Up next, the Belarusian will take on 24th seed Lyudmila Samsonova, who toppled 6th-seeded Jasmina Paolini.
Duterte takes full responsibility. The details when Nightline returns.
Bulan puasa ni kena tahan lapar, bukan tahan gelak. Nur Ramadan. Sabar.
Tak ada masalah.
Oh, haram.
Ya Allah, ya Allah, ya Allah.
Abang, pusing beraya.
Abang. Apa ni?
Slot wayang setiap Jumaat 1 tengah hari di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
terperangkap dalam ilusi masa lalu. Cintanya hanya satu.
Allah memang beri peluang buat kita untuk hidup sama semula di sini.
Namun, hakikat yang tersembunyi mula meruntuhkan harapan.
Haris, semua rasa sakit saya, marah saya lupakan.
Saya cuma nak awak tunaikan tanggungjawab awak.
Dua Antara, Sabtu 10 malam, terbaharu di Cereka Rama. Indahkan memori Ramadan di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Sayang, cepatkan ini, tukang awak tengok je. Hoi, awak nak pergi mana?
Saya nak keluar. Bising sangat rumah ni, tak boleh fikir.
Alah, ayah ada. Tak payah sebut nama dia, boleh tak? Ibu benci dia tahu.
Ini mesti ada yang tak kena kan? Cuba cerita dengan Mama.
Buat je bawa suka.
Hoi.
Bukan sekadar lafaz dua. Setiap Isnin hingga Jumaat 6.58 petang di Akasia TV3.
Isteri yang tabah atau wanita yang terseksa.
Dia cuma nak cari ketenangan.
Balik.
Orchid hanya mahu bebas, tapi bagi mereka, itu adalah satu dosa.
Sekali lagi kau nak ingatkan aku pasal solat ke, tazkirah aku ke, engkau siap?
Saya nak cerai.
Aku takkan tinggalkan kau sampai bila-bila. Dengar tak?
Sekam di dada, Isnin hingga Jumaat, 10 malam. Di Samarinda, TV3.
We're back with the foreign front. Former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte said he takes full responsibility for his so-called war on drugs in a social media post on Thursday following his arrest on a warrant from the International Criminal Court, ICC. In his first remarks since being put on a plane to The Hague, Duterte said he will be the front of the Philippines' law enforcement and military. He added that he will protect his people and will be responsible for everything. In a statement, the ICC said Duterte will be brought before an ICC judge in The Hague in the coming days for an initial appearance. The ICC arrest warrant alleged that as president, Duterte created, funded and armed the death squads that carried out murders of 6,200 purported drug users and dealers. Meanwhile, Pakistani officials on Thursday said at least 24 bodies were finally recovered as the deadly separatist train siege in Balochistan comes to its end. A railway official said the bodies of 25 people were transported by train away from the hostage site to the nearby town of Mach. He said the deceased were identified as 19 military passengers, 1 police officer and 1 railway official, while 4 bodies are yet to be identified. Security forces said they freed more than 340 train passengers in a 2-day rescue operation that ended late on Wednesday. However, death tolls have varied, with the military saying in an official statement that 21 innocent hostages were killed by the militants, as well as 4 soldiers in the rescue operation. Now, Mark Carney will be sworn in as Canada's 24th Prime Minister on Friday, marking the final day of Justin Trudeau's more than 9 years in power. Governor-General Mary Simon will preside over Carney's swearing in and that of his cabinet ministers on Friday at 11 a.m. local time. Citing a source, Carney's new cabinet may be about half the size of Trudeau's executive and is expected to have between 15 and 20 ministers, down from the current 37, including the Prime Minister. The 59-year-old, a former central banker who led the Bank of Canada and Bank of England, was elected leader of the Liberal Party of Canada on Sunday. He will serve as Prime Minister until the next parliamentary elections, which are currently scheduled for October 20th. Hamas has welcomed U.S. President Donald Trump's apparent retreat from his proposed permanent displacement of more than 2 million Palestinians from Gaza. In a statement on Wednesday, a Hamas spokesperson called for a reinforcement of this position by making it obligatory for the Israeli occupation to commit to all the terms of the ceasefire agreements. The statement came after Trump said on Wednesday that nobody is expelling any Palestinians from Gaza, in response to a question during a meeting in the White House. Egypt, which neighbors Gaza and Israel, also said it appreciated Trump's remarks. Trump's apparent reversal came a day after Arab foreign ministers met in Qatar with the U.S.'s Middle East envoy, Steve Witkoff, to discuss reconstruction for Gaza. And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look as children as young as 7 showcased their skills and talent in reciting the Quran, preaching and delivering the Islamic call to prayer in a competition held in the Libyan city of Misrata. With that, I'm Sabrina Zainal. Thank you for watching and stay safe.